Hiya, my name's Jo. I live in South Yorkshire, not too far from Rotherham, and I grow vegetables in my back garden. So I've been at this property since September last year, and then it was just a very long garden with east facing, with nothing but an uneven kind of lawn with holes and whatnot in it, and a lot of dandelions and a lot of weeds. So I decided it might be nice to start growing veg. I'd grown some tomatoes in the past and a courgette years ago, and that was it. So I fancied having another go, and I found YouTube had a lot of information, and I think one of the first videos I came across was Charles Dowding's no dig video, where he explains in very simple terms how to put in a no dig bed. So that sounded right up my street because it seemed less strenuous, and I'm kind of lazy in that way. And from there I found Jessie at Plot 37, and I've been absolutely addicted to her videos because I find them really great to relax to. So there's a lot of ASMR going on, that tune that she plays to every video and her narrating. I found that really relaxing, but I also learnt a lot, and her videos led me to Steve. So this was September last year, and sadly he'd already passed away at that point, but I've watched most of his back catalogue, and then that led me to Tony and JB and Audrey and loads of other YouTubers. So this is really a bit of it's a garden tour that I'm going to do, but it's a bit of a thank you to them for all their information. So you guys, all you YouTube gardeners, so Katrina, is it Home Gardens? Dan, I think it's Home Gardens, and Steve Seaside Allotment. I love Eli and Kate as well, so there's loads more that I could mention, but really it's just a thank you to the YouTube gardening community. This is what you've done, so I'll show you my garden now. How do I turn the camera around? Oh, can I do that now? Okay, so outside my back door I'm growing herbs. We were very lucky a couple of years ago. A friend gave us hundreds and hundreds of their old pots, so everything you see in this video, we've not really paid for anything, thankfully, because I wouldn't be able to afford all these pots. So we were really grateful to them. So they're herbs. The dill has been really lush. Parsley, coriander, where is it, up there, chives, some sage, loads and loads of herbs, some rosemary. So that's just a quick grab and go herb area near the back door, which is handy because that's where the kitchen is. Then in this area I have some chilli plants that I am sacrificing. These were my extras and I just didn't have room for them anymore in the house. This one's not doing too bad. That's actually a habanero that I sowed in autumn just on the kitchen window ledge, so that one's not doing too bad. I think we've got a few little things appearing. There we go, little focus. But yeah, that's a padron pepper in the corner, I think, and these are obviously not doing too well. So I'm expecting to lose these, or at least not to get any chilies off them, but we'll see. I'm interested in learning. That tends to be the way I learn, is I'll listen to everybody's advice, and often it's differing, so I just make my own mind up, go try something, see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll learn from it. Some cosmos. So yeah, this is a bit of a flower area. Got some sweet peas there that I'm hoping to grow up this drain pipe, but we'll see. Again, some more sacrificial chilies. My sweet corn, I'm just hardening off a little bit before I put that out in a week or so. My husband bought this cold frame, which I think is absolutely fabulous, out of some oh no, it was a divan bed, this, half a divan bed. So it's what I tend to do is I tend to put things out early because I'm a little bit over it. I've sown things too early this year, so I tend to just put it out but then sow a backup. So this is a lot of my backup plants, you know, fully expecting the ones that I planted out to maybe get slugged. Or back when we were having frosts, get frosted. Alright, so that's my cold frame. These are some sacrificial aubergines that I didn't have room for in the Polyhouse. And then just some pots. I kind of come out here in the morning, sit here and have my morning coffee. And this is my sweet pea frame. So of course I watched Steve's video about planting sweet peas. And I started these in January and planted them out in February, so they were out really early, and I kept a fleece to hand for them for frosty nights. I didn't really need it on too many occasions, to be honest. They were pretty hardy little fellas. This is a purple Cherokee tomato. I'm growing most of my tomatoes in my Polyhouse, but again I just ran out of room. I find it hard to throw extra sowings away, so yeah, I tend to have a lot of things that end up being sacrificial plants. These here are the earliest carrots that I sowed. So I sowed these on the 11th of February, early scarlet horn, but they're not doing too bad. I've also got some spring onions, some lilial spring onions in here, but I know they're a little bit squashed in. I've a tendency to sow what I fancy sowing at that time, and then I'll just find a spot for it. It'll work or it won't. I don't stress out too much about it. I've had no cover on them, so we'll see about the old carrot root fly if there's any problems with that. Lobelia. I tried sowing some myself this year, but I found it really difficult. These are the front of mine, and these are obviously from the garden centre. Yeah, I don't know why I struggle with them. I think they're far too small and delicate to grow from seed. A fig tree there that I've put in a nice big pot. So yeah, this garden was just a huge, great big long lawn. So this is east. We're facing east now. So obviously this side here gets all the sun through the day, and the other side is obviously a bit more shaded, as you can see now. So it's round about just after lunchtime, I think. We had 3 pots, so we made a strawberry planter, just stacking them on top, and there's a cane going through the middle of them. So these are all strawberries. I love the pink flowers on this one, they're gorgeous. This is a little area I've got for sunflowers. There's some nigella planted there as well, some foxgloves, rosebush. I don't have, as you'll see, I don't really have a very clear system. I'm not too bothered about formal planting, or you know, I don't worry too much about getting things in the right place. I'll work out if it's not worked, and I'll try it somewhere else next time. But you know, I'm open to feedback. I love you know, learning. So do get in touch if you can see any glaring obvious mistakes. How slugs or caterpillars have got up there, I do not know. I thought they would have had a fear of heights, a bit of vertigo, but apparently not. This is a little patch for my granddaughter Everly. So she planted these sunflowers way back in winter, at the end of winter should I say, upstairs. I've got a little grow tent, so she planted those. And I've got a variety here called Pro White, I think, and I'm really excited about that because it looks stunning. So we'll see if that comes up. These are my potatoes. So potatoes down the bottom there are obviously my first earlies. I've got some second earlies. So I have got some Pentland Javelin. Then second earlies, I think I've got Kestrel and Sagitta there. What were these first ones? The very first earlies. Let's see if I can find the label. Oh, here we go. So they were, of course, Red Duke of York. How could I forget? So yeah, my first earlies, my second earlies, and all these that you can see the straw on top of are my main crops. So I've gone for Yukon Gold, I think it said second early main crop. I don't know which it is, so I'm treating it like a main crop. Desiree, some pink fir apple, and then behind those potatoes there, I have some Cara and something else as well. Oh, some Morris Piper as well down there. I could really do with getting them. It's getting a little bit cramped. But yeah, so potatoes are well and truly in. This is a shady area. I've just planted some flowers mainly, a few herbs, some rosemary at the back there, a few more sunflowers. This is a rose bush that I've planted for my mum and dad. It's called White Shade of Pale. I lost my mum 10 years ago. My dad, we lost him in January this year, so White Shade of Pale was their wedding song, so I've planted that there for them. And I've got some buds on it, so I'm excited to see them come through. So this is all shady. It's a lovely spot to sit and look at the pond. So we'll take a quick look at that. This is a pond that we just bought second hand, 40 quid for a big rectangular tub. And we've just tried to make it as wild, with lots of little nooks and crannies for wildlife as we can. We've got a hedgehog that visits every night. He comes down there, round the back through the nigella, behind the logs, and when we're slug hunting we can hear him. So he likes a few mealworms that we put out for the birds. That's a very creative bird table that my husband made. So we find that we don't get a lot of the birds pecking our brassicas at the moment. You know, it's yet to be seen whether they will or not, but because we feed the birds, they seem quite happy to leave the garden alone. So this is what I call my long bed, and we didn't intend to put this in at all, but I got a bit overexcited with my planting, so I needed some more space. So I have some broad beans there, some spring planted onion sets, Stuttgarter, High Keeper and Red Baron, some Mizuna, which we've been enjoying, some Purple Rain pak choy. Sadly, I've yet to have my first one of these. I think it'll be this bad boy, but the slugs are having my life with them. Some celeriac, kohlrabi. Do you know, I've never eaten kohlrabi, and it's crazy. I've planted 3 varieties in this garden in this first year of growing, because I absolutely love the way they look. So I'm hoping I'll like the taste, but we're going to find out. Okay, so we've got some beetroot here, that's Baldor. We've got some Taunus in the middle. That's not a Taunus, that's a normal Boltardy. But the other 3 there are Taunus, some Boltardy, some Nippoliques, which took an absolute eternity to arrive. But yeah, they're in there now. Some spinach, Medania, some perpetual spinach. Out of my chards, the 4-duck giant hasn't taken as well as the others, but that's 4-duck giant there. Then we've got some bright lights and some peppermint chard, some longar shallots, and then these absolute beauties are Azure Star kohlrabi, and I just absolutely love the way they look. That's why they're at the end of the bed, so I can see them. Yeah, but I'm really pleased with the way they're looking. So that's the long bed and the pond and bird table, and then this is kind of the veg garden proper. And you're gonna be thinking, why has she planted that with that? Like I said, I sow things when I fancy sowing it. If the seed packet says I can, I'll probably give it a go, and I'll listen to all that good advice that, you know, my YouTube gardening community give me. But otherwise, I'll just stick it in. I'm looking for a space. If I find a space, I'll pop it in. These are 2 sacrificial courgettes that I sowed really early, and I planted them out really early because they were just getting a bit sprawly. So I planted them out, but immediately sowed a backup. So I've got some backups waiting to take their place, because that one's obviously not looking great. But yeah, they'll probably get replaced with my backups, but I'm learning by planting it out now. I'm learning things. some more baltardi. We love beetroot, roasted beetroot on every Sunday dinner. Some cauliflower, some all year round, and some sole F1s, and some dwarf beans. I've got amethyst, Ferrari, and Bolotti Lingua di Fuoco. That's that nice speckly one. Ferrari was a bit poor germination wise. I got 2 out of 4, so that's like 50% in it, a bit pants. Here we've got spring onions that I sowed in autumn. And they were fine through winter, but they've just really not... I thought they were going to burst into life, you know, when this nice weather hit, but they haven't really. This variety here on the end is Guardsman, which I think is probably best of this bunch. I tried Guardsman, Ramrod and White Lisbon, and I definitely think I'll grow Guardsman again, autumn sown next year, later this year. But yeah, I don't know about the other two. I might move them, see what happens. I don't know what compost that was, but it's quite woody, isn't it? It's almost like wood chip. I can't remember what that was. Some garlic. So I've got some soft neck and hard neck. So this is pink Germador soft neck, and then here we've got white Casablanca, which I think is a hard neck. I'm looking forward to scapes. This might seem bizarre, but I've got 2 broccolis planted there because I just wanted to get them out, and at the time that's the only space there was, so I figured these will be coming out in June, July, these garlic, so I'll have some broccoli there then. I do get a bit of sunlight down this side of the garden towards the end of the day now. We're getting towards summer, so I'm not too worried about how shady it is. These are some deli stem broccolis, which I'm excited about. My husband loves cauliflower and broccoli, and I do, but I don't really think it's going to be worthwhile us growing heads of broccoli and cabbage and things like that. The deli stem stuff that we can kind of go back to and pick pieces off again, you know, pick stems off again. That sounds good to me. So yeah, white sprouting cauliflower, sorry, not broccoli, deli stem. Kohlrabi again, Modrava F1, that variety. Some more cauliflowers and some just some random onions. Some more garlic. So that one I think is something like, I can't remember the name, Guacchia or something. Garcua, soft neck apparently. So yeah, these all went in autumn. Some shallots there, they've been in for ages. They don't seem to be doing much to me, but we'll see. And calyx, which are getting slugged. Again, I've got backups already sown that can go out in their place if they do disappear overnight one night. I made a mistake with onions and garlic really. I sowed far too much in the autumn in the excitement to get started, and that's pretty much, there's not a lot I could have started. In September it was by the time we got some beds in, September, October, so garlic and onions I went a bit mad with, and now I'm finding, certainly on this side where you'll see them onions, they're starting to bolt. So I'm just pulling them out. I'm chopping stems up, freezing them, and I'm making pickled onions out of the bottoms, which aren't quite bulbed up. So yeah, that was my garlic and shallots. These are my beans, which I'm growing up archers. I'm growing 7 varieties of climbing bean. I've got this arch, and then I've got another one over there. So my beans are Violetta, Greek Gigantes, have Cobra, and that speckly one, that Barlotti bean. So I put them in last week, and they've just taken off. Look, they're having a little romp away, climbing up. That's all their own doing. They've climbed up there, so I'm really pleased they've taken so well, because obviously I've dreamed about these bean archers all through winter. Just some little lavenders, flowers, some more beetroot, and then yesterday I sowed some carrots, short little fatties, rondo. I'll just put them down middle. Talking of carrots, I missed this bed out. This is my carrot bed. So these were sown in March. Let's have a look, 9th of March. 5 varieties, and we've got Nantes, left to right Nantes, Amsterdam Forcing, Touchon, Sugar Snacks 54 and Purple Haze. So I'm pretty pleased with all of those. Somebody said I need to thin them out further. I've already thinned them out, but yeah, I could probably do with taking a few more out, couldn't I? Snipping them off so I don't disturb the roots of the ones that I want to keep. I might do that later. Or I should do it on a windy day, shouldn't I say, so I can avoid the carrot root fly. This bed I have Cavolo Nero and some kale. I think I sowed them back in autumn, them ones and them ones over there. So I've got some again waiting in the wings to go out in their place, but we've been eating that, and that kale's been delicious. Don't actually know what that is. I'm hoping it's midnight sun because I've sown some more because we were enjoying it. Again, I think I've probably planted these too close together, but I just can't stop myself. 2 rows of parsnips there, Gladiator F1. They took an eternity to germinate as well, but they're there now. And look how sweet this little Mexican tree spinach is. I had to put a sign on it so my husband don't think it's a weird weed and pull it out. So I've just done one of those. I did try for more, but that's all that survived the sowing. Some random onions just stuck in here. This was actually just 2 rows of Chantenay carrots, but the germination was so poor. You can see them there and there. I've just planted things around them. So we've got some Romanesco cauliflower that my husband loves. Just 3 of them down that side. Again, the onions are just stuck in there because I ran out of space. And this poorly looking fella and his mate, who looks a bit better, is Cottager's kale, which I think is perennial. So I was looking for something like Taunton Dean kale. I like the idea of perennial brassicas. So yeah, I've got a couple of them in, and I hope they're gonna give me lots of lovely kale leaves through the rest of this year. We'll see. Some pickling onions, I got free in a magazine in there. Some pak choi, which has just really suffered with slugs. I got some rape straw for my potatoes, kind of following the Tony O'Neill advice for potatoes. So I've been using that round base of some of my vegetables to stop the slugs. However, I just see slugs crossing them, actually just enjoying a walk in the straw, so that doesn't work. These 2 things at the end, I think, are purple sprouting broccoli, a variety called Burgundy, I think. I've got some random lettuce and radish in here. They were all sowed in nice neat rows according to variety, but then some cats came in and dug them up. So they're a bit sporadic now. But yeah, we enjoy eating from them already. Take a few leaves off each plant. I've been leaving the lobjoits, which are them 3 there, where we're pointing there, because I want to harvest them as full heads. I sowed some more parsnip into here yesterday, some white gem just down the side. I think I'm going to put something else in there. As you can see, this started as 3 beds, 3 square beds, but I've had to use the walkways in between because, again, I'm running out of space, and my addiction to sowing and seeds just knows no bounds. That's some rocket that's going to flower now, I think. So we've added quite a bit of that. Some celery, green sleeves down the side there, probably a bit squashed in, but it's me. So those 2 plants at the back there are a Styrian tree cabbage, which I'm really excited about. I hope they do well in that spot and they can stay there for a couple of years. That'd be really great, but we'll see this year if they work or not. Some Brussels sprouts there. So when all this is out, which will be the next month or so, obviously I'll be left with a couple of Asturian tree cabbage and some Brussels sprouts there. I don't mind pulling other things out to give them room. Just trying things out for now. That at the back there was too early sown butternut squash, so I just, a couple of weeks ago, I planted it out. But I've sowed it back up, so I'm not worried about it. I'm watching it, learning from it, and my backup is in my greenhouse, ready to go in if you need be. Some more climbing beans. So I've got Carminate, which is purple I think, and Moonlight, a runner bean there, some yard long beans, and tall telephone peas, which I thought I'd give a go up the climbing frame. These were my first peas that I planted this year. These are a combination of Meteor and Douce Provence, I think it was. I put these out too early, they flowered really early, and I didn't think I'd get any pods, but lo and behold, there they are. So they went out, I sowed them on 6th of January, and I planted them out maybe February. They've been out a long time then. A fabulous specimen there. Doesn't it look great? I don't know how it's supposed to look, but to me it looks great. Brussels sprout, Evesham special, doing well on the sunny side. That in the corner is Gherkin National. So I'm growing gherkins for my husband who loves a pickled gherkin. They're just flowering. Put that out a couple of weeks ago. Behind here, stashed behind these peas. These peas, by the way, are Hurst Green Shaft, so that was a more recent planting out. They were sowed in March. Is Chinese slangdin cucumber. That's flowering. Again, sacrificial. I've got another one as a backup that I've sowed later. But I just wanted to see how it'd go early. It's been out a couple of weeks. It's actually had a little split in its stem there, and I wondered if it could carry on growing. So again, that's one of the things I'm watching, and it is. So it's made its way from about here up here on its own, so happy days. Gooseberry in the corner, and I've got some gooseberries planted, Cape gooseberries planted behind there as well. That's some tatsoi in pots. And I have some strawberries and some flowers, I think, in those. And I missed a bed, which is a shame because it's got some fantastic Durham early cabbages. Don't know whether these will look up or whether they will just bolt. We'll see. But we're eating the leaves. The leaves are gorgeous. Turnip tops, which we're having in a lot of pasta. And these I've been super impressed with. These are really quick to get to this point. So we're eating them at this size. Again, just pulling out the biggest one, leaving room for the others to grow. They're called sweet marble turnips. And squashed in there is some purple top Milan and some extremely densely sown peas. That's Onward variety. Yeah, they're too densely sown, I know that. But maybe they'll be okay, we'll see, won't we? Some cabbages. I've got a couple of greyhounds and a couple of Offanem 2 Flower of Spring, is it? And some more sacrificial chilies there. Although before I put them out, when they're in the grow tent upstairs, the sugar rush stripies started growing. I don't know whether these plants are going to survive, but they're not my main plants. So I don't mind so much that they're out there. Tomato. And I've got some tomatoes in front of that carrot bed there. Some Roma. Heartbreakers Vita, and I think a Tigerella in the middle. Onions that are bolting, so there were loads of onions here, but they've all bolted, so I've pulled them out, as I said. And then lastly, I'll go to the greenhouse as well, but lastly is my Polyhouse, which we've basically followed Jessie's Polyhouse build, because I've obviously not got a lot of space. This is just over 3 metres by just over 2 metres. So I think it's like a foot square, just a tiny bit bigger than Jessie's. But look how packed it is, because obviously I got over eager, thought I could put 18 tomato plants in here. Let me see if I can zoom out so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick zoom around and tell you what we've got. So there is 18 varieties of tomato. In hindsight, I don't think I'd bother with the things like, because I love tomatoes and I love the ones that are really tasty and have that like umami taste. Morrison's do umami tomatoes now, but they're £2.25 for 4 tomatoes, and they are delicious. So I can't afford that, so I'm gonna try and grow my own. What we're looking at here then is a couple of the old staples. So we've got Gardener's Delight and Moneymaker. These are them two, I think, in the corner. This is Alice's Dream, which was a later sowing. I decided I couldn't live without knowing what that tasted like, so Alice's Dream there. And then we've got Gardener's Delight and Moneymaker in the corner. This is a variety just called Red Cherry, and it's it's hitting the ceiling. So I've just been, because it's so packed in here, I've been doing a lot of pruning of the leaf trusses. Just making sure I've got a little fan plugged in down here, just making sure that it's, you know, aerated, if that's a word. But yeah, Red Cherry's off like a good one, so I'll top that shortly. I sowed all these way too early. I sowed these up right early February. Ridiculous. Shouldn't have done it. I've learnt my lesson. I won't be doing it next year. Because I think I'm going to get a crop early. I don't think the crop will be as good and as tasty, and I think it'll finish early. So yeah, I don't want to go that early next year. I don't know why I did it 1st of February. I was just giddy. What can I say? So yeah, so Gardener's Delight and Moneymaker, I wouldn't bother with them again, knowing what I know now about all the varieties that are available. Red Cherry. Then here we've got Momand. And then a Brandywine, just looking at labels, sorry. Brandywine, red, which I read in America is a kind of a popular tomato, so I thought I'd give that a go. In the corner we've got Sun Gold, which is romping away. And this is the one I'm most excited about, Japanese Black Traffelli. So if this is super tasty and has that like kind of umami flavour, I will be absolutely delighted. So Jessie describes it as a coin purse shape, but I describe it as Thanos' chin. So there we go, that's the one I'm really excited about. This one hasn't got enough sunlight, obviously. I've got a backup of this one. This is Rebel Starfighter Prime, which, like Brad's Atomic Grape, for me started really pathetic and weedy. I saw this at the same time as Alice's Dream, and Alice's Dream is almost as tall as me now. But yeah, we will see. A couple of extras of that, I might do one outside, because there's not a lot of room in here now, obviously. This one I had a disaster with, because I was winding it round and I took top off it. So I think that truss there is as much as I'm going to get from Crimson Crush. But we'll see. Oh, hello. There, mister. So this is Roma. Roma and Mamand, I think, are bush tomatoes. And I know not to take the suckers off on those, but I did forget on a couple of occasions. So I know I've pulled suckers off these that I really shouldn't have done. And I think in hindsight, I wouldn't put bush tomatoes inside my polyhouse. I might put them outside next year. This is Burlesque, which was slow and a bit weedy to get going. Obviously, because I sowed so early. My grow tent and my lights upstairs are brilliant. They're actually really, really good. But still, these were leggy to start. All my tomatoes were leggy to start, and I think you can tell. So this one in the corner is Tigerella. Yeah, so yeah, Burlesque there. Then we've got Tigerella here, lots of flowers. And this, I'm also excited about, Purple Cherokee. So I showed you the one outside. This is my indoor one. I'm finding this is like shooting things off everywhere, so it's got like 3 extra arms here, and I have been doing the suckers. Something's gone wrong there. And then I've got some San Marzano, I think, plum tomatoes here. And this one is Sweet Million. That's got some lovely trusses on with a few green tomatoes. Brad's Atomic Grape is there. Looking A bit leggy and weedy, but we'll see. It's got some flowers on. And Gigantamo in the corner. So they're my tomatoes. You will notice that I've got this dodgy string up going on. I know nobody would ever advise to do that, but I did the stringing under the root ball, but I used the wrong string and it's rotted fairly quickly. So almost all of these tomato plants, all 18, have collapsed at one time or another. So they have been trussed up in this fashion basically. And I know it's not advisable to tie around the stem, but I'm not too precious. We'll see how it goes. If I cock it up this year, I won't do it next year, will I? But otherwise, I really love this system my husband put in place with these wires and these. He's got, they were old old curtain rings. We got on a curtain pole and we didn't need the rings. So they're great because I can slide them. So if a plant's growing, you know, quite thicker than the plant next to it, I can move it away a little bit. They're ideal. And there's these tightening things up there. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, they're super tight, these wires. He's done a cracking job. So my husband built this polyhouse for me. He's fairly handy. And I right appreciate it. He's dead supportive, which is great. I've got a couple of cucumbers. So this is Burplus Tasty Green. As you can see, it's really pale there. I didn't grow anything there, so it obviously had some issues. And then it come good. But again, I've got a backup because I planted this in here really early. So that's one cucumber, and then the other one that we've been loving is Mini Munch. So I've got another Mini Munch that I've sowed recently, so it can take over from this one. These were planted very early. I've got 2 Minnesota midget melons, one there. It's flowering at the moment. Don't know whether there's enough pollinators about, you see. I went early with quite a lot of things, so I'm tickling them and, you know, doing all that good stuff. We'll see how they go. Minnesota midgets, I'm hoping I get at least one. Aubergines, so I'm doing Black Beauty. Can you see that one there? Not looking bad. And I'm doing early long purple, and I've got 2 of each in this polyhouse. So they're not looking too bad. There's 2 there, and 2 same again over there. And you see I've got all these lovely marigolds, but you can't see them because I've overplanted so much. They go right round the polyhouse as well. Got some basil. And then I've got some chilies. So these 2 are those like long Romano type peppers, Corno di Toro Rosso. I've got some Beauty Bell, so they'll be red peppers. Then I've got some chili peppers, habanero chocolate, come back a little bit, Trinidad perfume, Armageddon, Scotch bonnet. This is the one I'm most excited about chili wise, Sugar Rush Stripey. In there, it's quite big. Getting a bit overcrowded with these tomatoes. I might trim that off. I'm not very good at trimming things off that have flowered where I know fruit could be, but I might have to, you know, bite the bullet and cut off those tomato limbs to give these chilies some space. Padron peppers, which we love, you know, tapas style. So yeah, so that's the polyhouse. These temperature gauges that you get on Amazon, I've got them all over. Brilliant, they've been fantastic over winter. Okay, so I've been talking for 36 minutes. We'll wrap it up, I think. Don't even know whether I'll post this, you know. But I just wanted to say, look at what you did, all you gardening YouTubers. Yeah, so I've gone full on. Anything, when I decide I want to do anything, I really commit myself. If I'm sure about it, I'll go full on and give it a proper try. So that's why my garden looks like this now. But it's lovely. I love being here. I love spending time. Since I lost my dad as well, it's been great for my mental health. Which I know sounds very cliche, but on your hands and knees just weeding, which I do once a week, and your mind just empties of problems and you're just concentrating on the task at hand. It's lovely. So I'll just show you inside my greenhouse. So yeah, in the core frame, like I said, lots of backups now that you can see. So these are my K-Let backups. Some Cavolo Nero there. Lots of purple sprouting broccolis and things like that. Some more collies. This is an aubergine, a beautiful looking aubergine that I got from She Grows Veg, but I got it late. So I don't know what that's going to do, but we're trying it. Some more peppermint chard. And this is my little cheapo greenhouse. And these are all my backups of my cucurbits, or however you say it. Got some patty pans there, twinkle. Some sugar baby melons and loads of, look there, my rebel starfighters. Just don't romp off, do they? Oh, look at them. So some of those long Romana style peppers again. Thai basil. And I've decided to grow ginger along with Audrey, but I don't really know what to do with it now. I guess I need to take it out of these and give it more space, because it's the root that I want to kind of romp away, isn't it? To ramble away underneath the soil, I think. Who knows? And these here, these three squashes that I've grown for my grandchildren. So we've got another granddaughter coming in September, so this one will be for her for Halloween. This one is for my granddaughter who's 4, Everly, and this one is for my grandson who's just gone 1, Billy. So it's sweet to be able to do those things for them. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on this tour with me and letting me talk to you. If you've watched it through to the end, I'll be amazed. 40 minutes. But yeah, I appreciate it. Look at what I've done, is what I'm saying, I guess. Look, Mum. Thanks again, guys.